Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Jim with JRCLOCKER on eBay. Hey, listen, I gotta tell you something. It's crazy out there. I mean, our business is absolutely that everybody is staying home and they're buying from us because I don't know. We have so much going on. We had a lot of orders go out this morning. And then when everything was said and done, we've gone down to one USPS pickup per day, thinking that we wouldn't need it. And so what happened was we got done probably around 10:30, and the pickup came and had a lot more stuff than we thought we were going to have. Well, what's turned out to be a really, really crazy day. Because at 11, and you can see the time right now, okay? All right, it's 20 after 5. Anyway, about 11 o'clock, I decided that I was going to take a look at eligible offers. People that are watching my store and, see what's eligible. And I was going to send out a whole thing of offers. I was going to look in different categories and try to figure out the right ones to do. And I said, well, I'm going to do this by noon. I want to be done, and I want to have all the offers done and out there because they're good for 48 hours. And then on Friday, because today's Wednesday, on Friday at noon, they'll all be available to make offers for the weekend. And I don't know if you know how this goes, but if you have 10 watchers on something and you make them an offer today, you can't make them another offer on Friday. But if you pick up any watchers between now and Friday, you can then offer it to them. So what's going on is what you're assured of doing is catching brand new watchers. And so people that are brand new interested in this stuff, so it really works out well. And so that's what my thinking was, and that I'll do that. And but 11 o'clock, I'll start. I'll be done by noon, and then we can go on from there. Well, I started around 11:15, 11:20. All of a sudden, orders started coming in, and crazy. So we broke for lunch. I got everything uploaded. I got all the offers done. It was like 1,200 offers done, and by noon, I got to the point where I'm just going to put them all on 20%. Boom, I did it. I was trying to be, tricky and whatever. I decided, nah, don't do that anymore. Just go do it. And so I did it, and it just started going crazy. It just really going crazy. We have 6 or 10 orders right now that haven't been paid for because they're looking at other stuff and they're going to do some combined shipping. And then we had the other, as you can see here, I believe this is 35 orders, okay, that we just packed ready for tomorrow morning. And yeah, we don't ship big stuff. We ship little stuff. Let me see if I'm getting this right. Okay, so 4 bins, they're full, 35 items, plus we have a bunch of more stuff to ship. I know we have, all this stuff down here. Okay, we're waiting to see whether he's done yet buying. Okay, we're waiting to see if he's done yet buying. These guys are done. We just they were just sold after we ran the sheet for tomorrow, and we have a couple others that have sold just in the past. Oh yeah, we just sold this book. Let me see here. Sold this book, and so anyway. So yeah, we're going crazy. This is a guy, I don't want to show his name. He has like 15 items. He's been buying from us like crazy. And oh, look at what we sold. I got to show you this. This is really cool. Okay. These are lighters. They're little lighters like Zippo lighters, except they're not. These are made in Japan after World War II to kind of rebuild their economy. These would actually be sold to U.S. soldiers in Germany. Okay, so what happens is they were making stuff in Germany and selling it in Japan, and they were making stuff in Germany, selling in Japan. They were making stuff in Japan, selling in Germany. These were never taken out. This is a point of sale. Okay, so it's never been used. Somehow it got surplused over, and but yeah, these sell on the internet, on eBay sometimes. I sell them one by one, but here's a whole sheet, and there's 12 of them, and we sold that today. I guess what I'm trying to say to you all is just keep plugging away. We're selling a lot of stuff. We're selling a lot of stuff that was like in a dead pile that we had, stuff that had been on for quite a while. We are shorthanded, so we are, it would be great if we had everybody here, all hands on deck, because we have some really great stuff. Tomorrow will be a little calmer. I kind of went crazy today a little bit with it, but I'm happy. I'm happy. It was a good revenue day. We always have room to take 20% off. There's some things I've put 30, 40% off that we'll make really good margins on. We buy cheap. If it ain't cheap, it ain't ours. But just keep plugging away. Here, let's go and take a look at what we did sell today. Okay, let's look at what we sold. All right, first of all, let's look over here, and this is our promoted listings. All right, so far as we started on March 6th, the biggest day of sales was April 1st with 29 promoted sales. We've done a total of 252 promoted sales for a fee of $159.80 with just under $8,000 in gross sales. It's a good trade-off. It's a good idea. We're going to continue. We're just going to continue. We got the whole store at 2%. Unless something drastic changes, that's where we're going to be. And drastic change at 2%, the only drastic change is nobody buys anything from promoted listings, and I don't get any charges. Oh, and you got to remember the $159.80 right here. I get actually a $50 credit, a $25 credit for last quarter, which ended on April 1st. And $25 credit for this quarter that started on April 1st. So we're looking pretty good. And so we'll put that down. And now let's look at what we sold. Let's talk about the next part of our aggressive promotions, whatever. We did on Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. We started an aggressive program. We put our whole store, everything that was eligible for sending offers, that means stuff with watchers. We had at that time about 3,000 items in the store. Now, we have about 200 auctions going, so you can knock that off. So it's 2,800. Items in the store. I believe right now we have 2741. We've really dropped down mainly because of this offer sale. So the first day from Wednesday, from noon till midnight. We sold about 75 items. Probably 70 of them were through the offers. Within 15 minutes of sending all these offers off in a big, huge thing, I started getting sales and sales through offers. And the one thing that I noticed was, and it was a late one, the later it went on into Friday morning, because Friday at noon, supposedly it's the ends, although it does run a little bit longer than that. But the offers supposedly end in 48 hours. So, but what I did notice was a couple at the end ended early for some reason, or there was a glitch or something. But there's 2 orders that people said, I went to take your offer and it charged me full price. Now, I don't know, maybe they did it too late. Who knows? But I extended the offer. I refunded them the difference. They legitimately paid the original price, and they didn't get the offer price. But I don't care. I'll give them the offer price. You know, if you're going to put your whole store on sale for 20% off minimum, some of the items were 30, 40% off. Not very many, a handful. And by the way, a handful sold for great margins. All right, our big thing is to have margin discipline, Oh yeah, and have margin discipline. That means, margin discipline means I want to sell it, most of my items, for more than 7 times what I paid for it. Pretty much. And it's, since I'm selling them, and obviously I sell them for 7 times more than I paid, I must be buying them correctly. I'm going to take a little sip. I must be buying them correctly because they're selling. And if you look at my feedback at JRCLOCKER, you'll see that people really like what they buy. Now, I'm in a glitch thing. I got this thing going on, but you could do this too. Right now, if you're selling jewelry, you should be selling parts for jewelry. If you're selling jewelry, you should take dabs at making your own jewelry to sell. Let's get inventive here, folks. This is what happened back during the financial crisis when Etsy made a big jump. I actually don't sell much on Etsy. I probably haven't had the store open for a year. We've been so busy on eBay. But now I'm starting to look at what could we do as far as Etsy goes, because there's a lot of really cool things I can sell. But I do notice that I am selling some stuff now that like I used to sell on Etsy. So to make my life a little simpler, because we're understaffed right now, there's only a skeleton crew of my wife, my oldest son, and me. My youngest son is at Pitt, University of Pittsburgh. He's a medical student. He's in the mix of this whole virus crisis thing, man. It's a big research school. He's dove in head first in this. So anyway, but let's look at what we sold. When we come to the idea of what I could have sold on Etsy quickly, I'm going to point it out, okay? Because I actually, these sales are a couple days old because it's just been too crazy. Anyway, so I sold that watch here. This was on an offer. This watch I actually bought on eBay. Anyway, and you can tell I bought this case on eBay. So we had some offer. This was an offer sale too. This is not from eBay. This is another offer sale. I can tell by the weird number. Let me see here. This was an offer sale because it was the weird number again. Another one, weird number again. Here's another movement. We sell a lot. We sell watch and clock parts, and we sell watch and clocks. We sell mainly watches watch parts, clock parts, and then the lowest on our denominator is clocks and other. We anytime we think we can run a bargain, and I'm going to show you here soon. This was an offer. This was when you see oh no, I'm sorry, this was not an offer. This was an auction. This was another auction that closed Wednesday night. Here's something. This number here, this letter combination here, this was a group. We're almost out of it. We only have a couple more things to sell out from this auction that we went to. We've made really good money on it, and so we're just trying to get rid of it and close this out. And so we put the stuff up for auction. It started at $9.99. Anytime you can pick up these, reenactors love them. You know, when you start getting a reputation in selling these, they really sell well. Right now we're off. We're trying to close this. So, you know, normally this one has some damage right in here, and but the case is good. If you get one that says an old case from an optometrist in Gettysburg or Fredericksburg or somewhere down there along the line where Lee's troops came up and then they retreated, you can get a case like that. It's more valuable. I'm not going to say it's a home run or anything like that. I'm just going to say it's more valuable. Anyway, so we go through here. This was a case this was for steampunk. And this is where I wanted to get into an idea of all of a sudden we started selling, you know, stuff. Well, we started selling this because it was $2.99, 3 bids. I probably started at 99 cents. But it was not able to be used for a watch anymore. So I sell them for steampunk art. People make really cool things and they turn them into necklaces. It is pretty cool. I like the steampunk creative market. It's really pretty cool. This is another one that was in that same crew. Not good for putting a watch in it anymore. So, and there's a multitude of reasons that could be, but you know, another case. This was definitely not for steampunk, and this was on an offer. Here's an Elgin pocket watch movement 18 size. Nice because it has all 3 hands. It's a lever set. Anyway, $29.99. I think that's just a straight buy. This was a offer situation. These are the bezels that go on the kind of watches that have the front door that closes. We call them hunt case, and these had crystals in them, so that's what makes them more valuable. This was from a dead pile. This is another thing where, you know, we've sold hundreds of stuff from this auction house. And we have this one, same auction house, dead pile, trying to get rid of the stuff. 1 bid, $2.99. This was 1 bid, $4.99. We change it up. Sometimes we run 99 cents. Here's another set of glasses, same auction house as the last set, trying to clear out. This is a little bit better set, so we started at $9.99 and got 1 bid and sold. This is from this guy bought this one on sale, I think. No, not this one. This was just a straight sale. Okay, I do have one in here, and then he came back and bought another one and wanted to know if he could get an offer price on that, which was fine. This is a nice, just straight sale. Nice case. Somebody's going to be happy with that. This is a pocket watch mainspring. Don't make them anymore, so they're starting to go up in value because they're really hard to find. But you have to inspect them. You really got to know what you're doing. Let me take a little minute here and tell you. If you're in auto parts, find vintage ones. Don't go buy these, Chinese ones, because you're going to get negative feedback because they don't make them to the same specs. So if you really want to do this and because people go, well, I need a special license to take apart a car in my garage. Well, yeah, if you keep doing it, yeah, you do. But there's ways that you can not get around it, but ways to keep a low profile about it. All right. If you're going to junkyards and you're pulling parts off, okay, establish a relationship with that junkyard, become friends with them, and maybe they'll start lowering the prices for you. It's amazing where I see a lot of people are out there getting crap off of cars and selling them on eBay, which is fine. More power to you. But let's look at another thing. Let's say you are into model trains. Okay, it's great to sell big sets of model trains if you can buy them cheap, but normally you can't keep what we call our margin discipline uh, in that unless you get into a big collection or an estate or something like that, which we do. We get a lot. We get into a lot of estates, and so and buy clocks and watches and stuff like that, and that's where we get really good margins. But we also sell parts, and we'll be at an estate auction, and people are buying the clocks. We can't touch them. Maybe they're buying some of the watches. We can't touch them. Um, and but they're selling the parts, and they're giving them away. Well, they're giving them away to us because collectors don't go there to get the parts for the most part. They go there to get the really cool items. And so if we're going back to model trains, they're going to get the big, cool engines that are in the book for a lot of money. And remember, the other thing, too, is for the most part at an auction, when I'm looking at clocks, the cheap clocks go expensive because a $25 clock that does $75 is a cheap clock that went really high. Even if somebody can get 150 for that clock, you got to sit on that clock for a while to get that 150. But the $1,000 clock does 200. So we always say in our business that, and it follows suit a lot of different places. The cheap stuff goes expensive, and the expensive stuff goes cheap. So you got to keep that in mind when you're out there. Now that's when you have people bidding with you or against you, really. And you're at an auction. If you're out thrifting, I don't know. Thrifting just never really, I never got into it that much. I can get into a lot of bulk sales. We have a couple thrift stores here, and I'll buzz by them real quick just to look in because they'll have a rack of, a couple years ago I bought 50 ultrasonic cleaners. That was for jewelry and stuff. But I bought them cheap. And they were all new in box. So I bought them. I'm not going to walk away. But that's what you have to look for. And you have to have the powder in your gun to take that shot and buy that. Something might cost you, a couple $1,000 for 1,000 items. Well, now you only got $1 in each item. And each item, if you do $10 an item on eBay, you've now done 10 times what you paid for it. Okay, so 1,000 turns into 10,000. And that's the way you have to break stuff down, and because I'll sit at an auction, and people, the guy sitting next to me, who's a friend of mine, who I'm teaching, goes, "Why the hell did you pay that so much for that? Did you look at the box?" He goes, "No." He looks in the box. He goes, "Oh, now I understand." All right. That same guy calls me up and goes, "Hey, Jim, I just bought a box lot at an auction for $35, and when I took out the parts that I wanted, I found this Chelsea ship's bell movement." Now, I had a friend I had a guy I know. I can't call him a friend because I don't like what he did. But he said he could fix one for somebody, and he's in the clock repair business. And I was going to start helping him, but He came to me, he goes, I made a big mistake. I dropped this movement. I broke 2 pieces. I said, okay, we'll bring him over and see if I can do. He comes over there. I said, well, where are the pieces? He goes, well, it's been a week or so. I kind of lost them. How can you lose them? And this is, how can you lose them? I mean, so I said to my friend that got this clock, and it's the parts on it that he needs. I said, okay, I'll give you $200 for the movement. He goes, yeah, but I only paid $35 for the box. I said, I'll give you $200 for the movement. He goes, okay, I'm not going to argue with you. I said, because that's the benefit you find. I'm trying to teach you a lesson. You find something like that, and it's in the box slot. You don't sell it to me for $35. I'm going to sell it to this guy for $250, and I'm going to do the work, which I'm going to charge him for. So I call him up, and he goes, oh, thank goodness you're really, because the owners of the clock are really starting upset, and I finally had to tell them that I broke the movement, and they wanted me to send it to Chelsea, which there's a $4,000 to $5,000 bill come along with that one. I said, look, this is the idea. It's going to cost you this much plus my time to do the repair. I am a certified clocksmith, so I knew what to do and knew how to do it, and really fast. And he said, cool. He goes, I need a little time to get the money together. Now, unfortunately, the guy's kind of, I like the guy. I like his wife. They're my age. He got laid off from a long-time job that he was underpaid and overworked, and they never really had a lot but he had an interest in clocks, so he started to repair them, which don't do that. I'll help you if that's what you want to do, but don't just go out there and do it on your own, because there's some rules that you have to follow, and one of the rules is you don't drop the piece and break off the pieces and then lose the pieces that you broke off. So anyway, make a long story short, he kept saying, yeah, I'll get you the money. Yeah, I'll get the money. Yeah, I'll get the money. Okay? So I texted him, said, hey, it's been about a week. This is like a month in. I talked to you last week and I haven't heard. I texted you last week and I hadn't heard back from you. Can work up some kind of plan. I don't care. It's $50 a week, whatever. Well, I never heard from him. The week before, I had heard things like, well, the flea market's been really slow and I haven't been doing well, and I don't have $250 right now. And I said, at that time, I said, we'll come up with a plan. A week later, I'm texting him. I didn't want to talk to him. Because talking to him means I'm going to hear excuses and I'm going to get soft and whatever. So I just text him, hey, do you have a plan? Let's come up with a plan. Get back to me. Never heard. 2 weeks. Never heard anything. It's now 2 months into this. My buddy, who doesn't care, he doesn't care about the $200 already. I said, that, it's off. I'm going to put it up on eBay. I'm going to sell it. He goes, okay. So I'll get you that $200. Well, you can sell it for less than that. I said, no, I'm going to get you $200. Put it up for $299. I said, but anyway, anything over $200, I get. He goes, okay. And because that helps me actually pay the fees, because I didn't take the $200 off the fees. I didn't take the fees off the $200. So I sold it within a couple hours for $299.99. So I made just under $100 with fees and everything. And I gave him the $200 cash, and he's a happy camper. I'm a happy camper. Still haven't heard from this guy. So now with the virus and everything, I know that market's shut down. So I'm not going to worry about it at this point in time. I promised my friend $200 for the movement. I got him the $200 a movement. He's happy. I didn't lose any money. I gained actually a little money. But I feel bad, and I feel bad for the owners of the clock who basically, and I'm sure this guy isn't going to say, well, go over and talk to him. Well, one, I don't want to take the job. I'm retired. I would have done it for this guy. Probably for an extra $50, I would have done it. But I'm just not going to. But anyway, so really know your stuff, know what you're doing. That's what I'm trying to say. Because you can get yourself in a world of hurt if you don't do things, So if you're selling car parts, make sure you know what you're doing when you're selling car parts. You're selling train stuff, yeah, and you don't have to know as much. But there's other niches and things out there that you can get into. And what I was talking about here earlier was, you're running around a flea market and you pick up these glasses, and if you can pick them up for $5 a set, which basically what we try to do, and you can get, it's all about building a reputation and all about building followers. Get people to follow you, and because people that follow you get emails when you put stuff up. Now, I have a little over a year ago, I got into a campaign where I needed to get more followers. So for JRCLOCKER, I looked and I had 351 followers. A year and maybe a month later, I have 1,036 followers. That's because, one, I started doing some auctions. I made sure I always had auctions up. We have about 200 auctions running right now. But if you want followers, start auctions cheap, you'll get followers. You have something that you're going to say, yeah, I'm just going to put this aside, then put it up for 99 cents and see if it'll sell. Who cares? Oh, but you got to charge shipping. Okay? We charge shipping. That's all there is to it. We don't have any free shipping. We don't have free returns. Not that I'm trying to be an ass about it. I'm just saying that we don't do it. Everybody, you got to pay shipping, whether you get free shipping or not free shipping. I buy something from Amazon Prime, somebody's paying the shipping, which bleeds down to the buyer. The buyer's paying it. So anyway, so it's a myth to sit there and go, you can get free shipping. So we just don't participate in the myth. Okay, so we have some more bezels. We sell a lot of bezels. We sell these. These are balance staffs that are really, really, really small, and we usually buy them. This particular one we bought at an auction 4 years ago with 2,100 others. We paid $450 for the box of these with 2,100 of them in there. And we average, when we bought the box, my wife almost had a heart attack. It was the first auction she had been to when we were spending, that kind of money on this little box. And when we got back to the hotel, I said, count how many are in that box. She said at least 2,100, maybe 2,500, but at least 2,100. I know there's 2,100 in it. I said, well, then take 2,100 and times it by $10. And she said, why? I said, because that's the average of what we'll get. When we're all done selling this box, the average will be $10 minimum, probably $15. Okay? This one sold at offerings. It's a pretty common, there was a time I used to get more for these, but they didn't sell as fast. Now they sell as faster, and I put them down in price because I put a ton of them. There's another thing we buy bulk, but you have to know what you're buying. They don't actually make this spring anymore, so it's going to get more valuable as the time goes by. These are dust rings for pocket watches, and this is another bezel. Another staff we sell out of this box, and this is from the same auction. Out of that box, we probably sell 4 or 5 a week. And I looked it up earlier. I think we spent at $2,000, just a little bit over $2,000 at this auction, and we've sold $14,000 worth of stuff, but it's just, it's like here, $8, $10, $20 at a time for the last 4 years. But we have another 4 years of stuff in there. So, we probably have another between $15,000 and $30,000 to sell. That's how you make money on eBay. If you really want to make money on eBay, that's That's the way I like to make money on eBay. I don't have to even think about these. All right, you lot them out, you put them in a box, the same box they came in. When you sell one, you pull one out and you put it in there. I like to watch two people on YouTube. The first one is Resell Rabbit, who I think is probably the most real genuine person as far as selling, but the smartest and the most genuine on there is Pete from Craigslist Hunter. I'm telling you, between the two of them, they really know what they're doing. So if you want to really watch somebody and you want to I pick people's brains. I want knowledge every day. I want to learn something every day about this. A real entrepreneur gets into business, reselling, selling, whatever you're doing, whatever the business is. I don't care if you have a car wash. It's because you love to see how many cars you can get to go through your car wash. Because the money comes second. I mean, if you're successful, the money will be there. Okay, I have never seen a successful business run correctly that people weren't making money. So the last thing on my mind is how much money we're making. There's rules about how to get it. You have to know your numbers. You have to know your margins. You have to be margin disciplined. In this world, when crisis like this comes along, you really need to know that you have margin discipline. Also, for me, we try to buy, which is the fun part, because everybody likes to go source the stuff. I mean, that's the biggest thing that they like to do is source the stuff. And don't get me wrong, I love to source the stuff too, and we're constantly looking for things. We do online auctions. We can't do in-person auctions right now, but we do everything that we can to source. But we have pickers that go find stuff for us and bring them to us, but we've been doing it a long time. I've been on eBay for over 20 years. Pete has the trading post. He has people coming in there all the time. He's kind of like a pawn shop, except he doesn't have to follow pawn shop rules because he's not giving out loans. So people just bring him stuff in, he buys it. And people, some people to watch, I think, why, how does he get away with paying so cheap? Because people come in there, they want to buy it. They want to sell their stuff. He has the opportunity to pay what he wants to pay for the stuff. And what he feels comfortable in having it sit on his shelf that in a building that he's renting and paying the rent for. To have employees cleaning it that he's paying, not the people that walked in the door. Okay, so don't get the wrong impression. Like I can't believe the people sold him that for that. They're trying to get money, and he's trying to he's a really fair guy when you really look at it. When you're out there in the market like I am, like he is, and like Resell Rabbit is, we all understand the market and margin discipline, because you can't buy something for $100 and sell it for $110. You just can't do it. I don't even buy stuff for $100 and sell it for $150. Okay, one, I don't like to spend $100 on anything because you're putting $100 at risk. I could go buy 100 items for $100 and be happier. Okay, because my chance of being able to sell, 5 of them for 5 times what I paid for all of them is easier. So it minimizes my risk, and he has a big risk because he's out there, he's paying insurance. People, trip and fall or something happens. I mean, he So if you want to get his prices and you want to do his business, go out there, pay for a building. I don't think he's ever said how much he pays for that building, but I know he pays a good chunk of money. Okay, he's paying his employees. He's paying FICA, he's paying all the stuff that we all do, and this is real. I mean, this is real stuff. So if you really want to learn something about selling, if you want shortcuts, there's a million videos out there you can watch to try to trick you into shortcuts. I can tell you about a couple of them because, funny thing, when you're in the business, you can tell the fake ones right away. But I'm telling you, these two people, they're real. They're really real. And I very much enjoy watching them. And I think Pete's been a little bit low because he sees that handwriting on the wall. He's exposed because of the store and those big rents. And he can't make himself smaller that quick, right? So he's hoping that things recover quickly, and he just manages, but he's going to be burning money like crazy. We're a little bit different because we ended up buying a big property. We have an Airbnb, which is a really cool apartment. It's a 3-bedroom apartment, and we have somebody here that's been with us since November and is probably going to be here to the end of the year because we just keep it saying, you can just stay. She has a special needs son that needs a lot of medical attention. They need a safe place where they know they keep going from place to place. They don't know what they're going to be exposed to, but they were with us over a year ago. They're back with us now, and they're staying. And we just keep saying stay. I kind of made her like my adopted daughter, and I don't have any grandkids, but it feels like I have one. Anyway, let's get back to what's going on here. What's selling. I kind of got off track. This is a cool piece of glass. Anyway, to say some movement, we saw a lot of these movements. This was on offer. We did put some things back up on offer. Not sure if anybody knows, give me answer. Is there a time period between offers? I do know that, let's say if on this item here, if I had 20 watches on it, and I still had some available, and at the end of the 48 hours, I could not revisit those 20 people with new offers. But if people had then watched the item since those offers, I can now go and send them offers. I just don't know how long it will take me to be able to go back to the other 20, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Because if the 20 didn't want them the first time around, and hopefully the other two do want them, but you do know that those two that come on board just came on board in the last 48 hours, so they may be ready to take the bait right away. So you send them and you go. This was not on offers. The other crazy thing is when you sell something. It's something I sold. I don't know if I have them in here right now, but I sold them. I'd had them on the shelf for a while, and I had 4 of them. Sold all 4 within 24 hours. And it was just weird. I don't know how that worked out. But anyway, and I think I lowered them 10%. But it was enough to get them going. So, there's an old adage, the difference between a sale and no sale oftentimes is the price. Keep that in mind. This is a nice sale. This was on an offer. And they'll be happy when they get this case. Very nice case. This was an offer too. This was a bid, an auction. This was on an offer. This one was a bid at auction. This is really cool, hand carved. Probably bone, but you can't use that word on eBay because you're not allowed to sell animal bones or tusks or antlers. I think antlers. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. Anyway, but I know bone because anytime you put bone up there, they take it down. Anyway, nice case. And that's basically, I sell a lot of cases. I get a lot of cases. And so I sold this cool clock. I got this clock. You see my letter number. That's Facebook. So FB means Facebook. So sold that, bought that in Facebook. Don't buy a lot of that off Facebook, but this one was particularly cool. This one was a Hershey, which is a clock made in the United States. This is probably, I'm going to say, from the 60s. Anyway, we're going to end it there as far as what we sold. Um, we'll head out to show you a little clip that we started when things started getting real serious with this pandemic. We started trying to make it safer for our mailman. So we will put everything in my son's car, which has a really nice remote and opens the back door. I have a pickup truck, so it doesn't work so good. It's open air, so it can't do it in the rain. But anyway, his car sits there. We put all the mail in. We close the door when the mail truck backs up right next to it. He normally comes through our door, but we park this right next to our door. He gets out. I open the door. He scans the sheets, puts the tubs in there. If he has tubs to put it back in the car, he does that. We do offer him hand sanitizer wipe if he feels he needs to do so, or maybe he's coming from another delivery where he didn't think so cool, so he can have some hand sanitizer. We close the door. He doesn't touch the car. And, he's a buddy. I mean, we've been dealing with him for a long time, and, he's blue because he normally comes in, has conversation with everybody. If he needs to use our bathroom, he uses the bathroom. Matter of fact, if he needs to use the bathroom when he's here, he can still use it. I don't care. He visits with our employees and stuff, and it's a shame. It's sad what's going on, but you have to do it. You have to stay safe. But anyway, the clip is a little bit about that. If you notice that, and then you'll see the configuration right behind the camera, about 70 yards or 100 yards is the main road, or our road, and then our driveway goes past the offices and then winds down and to our house. And you'll see it in the video. Trying to give you a little retrospect. So we're all self-contained here. We do have a warehouse, which we are buying another house in town with a big commercial space attached to it, which will act as our warehouse. We may move our offices down there and turn our present offices into a studio, art studio for my son and I. We're both artists. So, well, he's an artist. I just like to do cool stuff. I don't know. I don't know if I can call myself an artist or not. But anyway, that's the deal. We haven't made that decision yet. We may be putting an addition on our current offices, whatever. And who knows what's going to happen. We're supposed to settle on that building May 14th. Not because we wanted to wait that long, because they wanted it. It was filled. It was a hoarder. We actually tried to buy everything in it, but evidently they get nervous when people are trying to buy stuff, so they're going through it pretty hard. So we don't want anything anymore. Anyway, so we'll go to that clip. And let's go to that clip right now. I just wanted to give you a little update. We're almost 24 hours into our 48-hour offer sale. We sent out 1,200 offers yesterday, and this is the result here. 75 items we sold. 75 items. Anyway, that's just a quick update. Just in case you guys ever notice, our offices, our house is way down there. Anyway, all right, y'all have a good one. Hi everyone, I hope you all enjoyed our video today. I know it was long, and I hope it was entertaining as much as it can be. As you saw that in that last clip, we're pretty lucky, I'll be honest with you, and eBay is the main reason. I mean, and the business is going to be going to my son. He's taking over kind of now, but we're having fun and we enjoy it, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you subscribe. If you have any questions, or if you have any answers to any questions I have, because I don't know how everything goes, just leave them in the comments. I'll read them. I guarantee you that, and I'll answer them. But mainly keep safe. Okay, there's a lot of bad stuff out there right now. Okay, this virus is bad. Okay, so keep safe. Keep your family safe, your friends safe. Reduce contact as much as you can, because contact makes it possible for this thing to spread. Okay? Follow the rules and the guidelines. And if you don't think your state's rules and guidelines are strong enough, you have your own rules and guidelines to follow. Okay? See you next time. Thank you for stopping by. And this is Jim with JRCLOCKER on eBay. Come go by and see our store at JRCLOCKER. You can follow us on Instagram at JRCLOCKER, or you can follow us on Facebook at JRCLOCKER. Thanks.